You don't feel like a victim?
I was not thrown on the ground and ravished. Which the word rape carries so many sexual connotations. This was not sexual. It hurt.
But I think most people think of rape as it is a violent assault. It is not.
I think most people think of rape as being sexy.
Let's take a short break.
Think of the fantasies.
We're just going to take a quick break. If you can stick around, we'll talk more on the other side.
You're fascinating to talk to.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about what you just saw, which was a lady by the name of E. Jean Carroll accusing Donald Trump of sexual assault from an incident she said happened back in the mid-90s, 20 or so years ago. Now, before we even get into it, I must address the elephant in the room. In my humble opinion, it's pretty obvious that this lady ain't all the way there. A few screws are loose. She's a few trees short of a forest, a few spoons short of an entire silverware set. The lights are on, but ain't nobody home. The elevator's not going all the way to the top floor. Something's wrong with this lady. Even if you believe that rape in this instance could be used in a sexual fantasy kind of way, like Bernie Sanders said back in the day, and written answer, but that's a different story. Even if you believe that, why would you say that on TV? You're on CNN. Anderson Cooper is right in front of you. Why would you say that right in this instance and then be like, oh, if that's name to talk to? Something's wrong with this lady, in my humble opinion, but I digress. Let's get back to the situation at hand. She accuses Trump of a sexual assault in the Bergdorf Goodman store. And by the way, I'll put the full interview in the description box. She went on and on and on about that store like it was best thing since pants with pockets and sliced bread. It was really kind of cringy to say the least. But anyway, apparently she's in the store. Trump's in the store. Trump recognizes her, according to her, and says, hey, aren't you that advice lady? Because she's one of these Ask Jane people. She has a column in the Chicago Tribune where people write to her and ask for advice. That's what she does for a living. But anyway, she says he recognizes her and he is looking for a gift for his wife at the time, which was Ivana Trump. He wanted to get her one of these fur top hats. And she said, well, no, don't get the fur top hat. And they go looking for other things. And then the idea was brought up, hey, I'll get her some lingerie. So she goes with him upstairs in the Bergdorf Goodman to look at the lingerie. This is a department store, so it's like a Sears or a Penny's or something like that. It's kind of open, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, they go to look at the lingerie, and he is asking her to put the lingerie on. And again, this is her story, not his. So this is just what she said on TV. And she's like, no, why don't you put it on? They're kind of going back and forth. She thinks that she's going to get him to put the lingerie on in the dressing room, but she is the one that is being told to put it on. So they go into the dressing room, and she says at that moment, that's when a sexual assault happened. He slammed her against the wall, all this, that, and the third. Now, I don't really know what the charge is here, what she's trying to say, he did wrong if he did anything, which I doubt. On one hand, she's saying that she was assaulted, she was raped. But on the other hand, she says, well, I don't like using the term rape because it's about sexual fantasy and it hurt. But then at the beginning of her statement, she said that she was not thrown to the ground and ravished. So I don't know what happened in her mind. I don't know what she's really talking about. She's kind of all over the place. Trump, of course, denied it. He was like, look, is that my type? I mean, come on. Now, granted, she's older now. She may have looked better when she was younger, but still, I mean, I don't think that's really his type. Trump denied actually meeting her, but there was actually a picture that came up with him speaking to the lady, her husband. I think Ivana might have been there as well, but that could have been in passing. You saw a lot of people in the party. Like, if you're just walking around talking to people, you might not really remember that person. But anyway, he said he does not know her, never met her. And I tend to believe Trump's part of it. Like, this whole thing didn't happen. It reminds me of Brett Kavanaugh and that whole situation he was going through with Christine Blasey Ford making up stories. The story was so phony. Even the friends that she mentioned in the story being there with her said, now, I don't remember that. That didn't happen. Okay. it was clearly a lie. She went all the way to Congress talking in front of him. It was really crazy. After the whole thing was over with, he got confirmed to the Supreme Court. She totally vanished, went away. You've not heard from her since. Obviously, that was a ploy to try and get Brett Kavanaugh out of the running and to get somebody else in there. It's clear. It's unfortunate that people like E. Jean Carroll, Christine Blasey Ford, and others come out and make fools of themselves on television talking about rape as a fantasy, all this, that, and the third, because what it does is it reduces credibility of legitimate rape victims. Okay. You do have women and men that get sexually assaulted. You don't want the immediate reaction to be total doubt when a person comes up with their story. Now, it shouldn't be automatic, I believe you either. It should be a neutral thing. When somebody says, okay, I've been sexually assaulted, the first step should be, let's get the evidence together. Let's see what can be done here. Okay, rape, kid, or whatever. Matter of fact, I think CNN might be on my side because she was on CNN earlier in the day or a different day, I suppose. And the question was brought up, well, do you still have the dress you were wearing? She's like, yes. And they're like, well, have you dry cleaned it? You know where they were going with that. Is there any evidence on your dress?
You have said that the coat dress that you were wearing, and we have a picture of it because you're on the front page of New York Magazine. This is exactly the outfit that you were wearing the day that you say the attack happened. You have kept that dress. You've never worn it again, you say. Have you ever dry cleaned it?
No. The thing is, we all have dresses. You just hang them in the closet. Something bad. You didn't have a good time wearing it, and you never put it on again because it's just a bad luck dress. I never felt like putting it on again. I did not turn it into a talisman. I didn't wrap it in plastic. I didn't think. I just didn't want to put it on again.
I guess my question is could there be any DNA on there?
I have no idea. I do not know if the president ejaculated. Have no idea.
I guess the reason I'm asking is because the mayor of New York City, Mayor Bill de Blasio, who, of course, is running against President Trump, has said that if you were to bring a case forward, he will pursue it. He will have the New York City Police Department pursue it. So do you want to pursue this?
It is the greatest police department in the world. The detectives are great in New York. The thing is, it's past the time. It's experts. I've been talking to experts, and they say that we passed
the statute
of legal.
Limitations.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, there was a statute of limitations in place at the time that this happened in late 1995 or 96. That has since changed. And Mayor de Blasio, when he heard your story, said that he would pursue on your behalf an investigation. And so you have the dress that you were wearing. You don't, I'm sure, still have the tights. But would you consider doing that?
I consider it, but the experts are telling me that.
So you've consulted lawyers?
Yeah. Well, they've written to me. I've never consulted a lawyer in my life. It's not something I would do. They have, emailed me to tell me that, as you say, the statute of limitations is passed because I don't know the legal. I don't want to say what because I don't know what it is. But
now, as you can see, she's kind of reluctant to give up the dress, not really trying to go through any kind of investigation. So my question is, what do you really want? You don't want your dress to be like the Monica Lewinsky with the DNA sample on it. You don't want that to be scraped and tested to see if it matches Trump. You don't want really an investigation because so-called experts are emailing you talking about, oh, well, this wouldn't be a good move. Then she was like, well, I've not talked to a lawyer before in my life. Why not talk to a lawyer? You're coming out with a bombshell case in your mind and the minds of the left. Why not have a lawyer? You should have a lawyer. Okay. It's just really weird. It minimizes actual rape victims down to doubt right away, rather than saying, let's get the evidence and we'll see what's what. We'll see what the actual facts dictate in this particular situation. So that is pretty much all I got for that. What say you? Do you think that this lady, E. Jean Carroll, is credible in her story? How do you feel about this whole rape thing? And, some may say, well, she's an advice columnist. This is what she does for a living. So some may have written her about this particular thing. But still, why would you say that on TV? I mean, think about where you are. Understand your surroundings. Understand who you're talking to. And people are going to be doubting you regardless because there have been other people that have come out against Trump. And then it winds up being bogus. Same thing with others in the administration, Brett Kavanaugh. many other people. It winds up being bogus and nothing comes of it. So you want to maintain your credibility. The lady ain't all the way there, in my humble opinion, but that's just my 2 cents. Whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.